Hi everyone, welcome to another daily devotional. We're going to be thinking about what Paul says to the Philippians. We were thinking about the word of life, and what I want us to think about today and probably tomorrow is what Paul wanted the believers in Philippi to do with the word of life. He says they are to hold out or hold forth the word of life. Now, this was something that they were doing, and Paul wants them to continue to do that, continue to hold out the word of life. That wee phrase there, hold out, it means to set something before someone with a view to offering it to them. It's a bit like handing someone a couple of pieces of chocolate. You're offering it to them, you're wanting them to take it. So Paul is thinking here of evangelism in these terms. The work of communicating the word of life to those who are spiritually dead is to offer the gospel to them, to present it to them, take the gospel to the lost. Now, what it is important to realize here is that Paul is speaking here about the whole church. He's not merely addressing the leaders. This letter is written to all the saints which are at Philippi with the elders and deacons. And just as in previous verses, it was every Christian's duty to keep themselves pure and blameless and to shine as lights in the midst of the darkness, in the midst of this crooked and perverse generation in which they are living, so too it is the responsibility of every Christian to bring the gospel to those around them. An old commentator, Albert Barnes, in his commentary on Philippians, he says the following: "Not one member of the church is so obscure as to be exempt from this obligation." You see, Paul never viewed evangelism as the exclusive work of a select few within the church. He didn't see it as the work of merely the pastor or the elders. He saw it as the work of every Christian. Now, of course, there are those who are especially gifted by God, called by God, set apart by God to the duties and responsibilities of preaching and communicating the gospel. But that doesn't exempt all Christians from their responsibility to evangelize, to share the gospel with those whom they meet. You remember the command of Jesus to his disciples at the end of Matthew 28, verses 19 and 20, that they were to go into all the world and proclaim the good news, the gospel. That was given to his disciples as representatives of the church. In Acts 1, verse 8, also addressed to these disciples as representatives of the church, "You will be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria, and to the uttermost parts of the earth." And when you think about it, if we as Christians do not hold forth or hold out the word of life to the people around us who are unsaved, who are spiritually dead, if we as Christians don't tell them the good news of the gospel, who's going to do it? They're certainly not going to hear about the gospel on the television. They won't read about it in the newspapers. Their unsaved friends won't tell them about it. You're the only one, as a Christian, who may be in a position to bring the gospel to somebody you know. It's your responsibility. It's my responsibility to hold forth the word of life. Now, it's not easy to do it, I know that, but the fact that we find it difficult is not a valid excuse for failing to do it. We are to hold forth the word of life. And brethren, as we go into the day ahead, let's look for opportunities, real concrete opportunities to share the good news of the gospel with those around us. May God give us such opportunities and give us the grace we need to hold forth the word of life. Have a good day.